First of all, thanks Jimasa for two things. One is, so we have, and all my fellow panelists would have done a lot of panels on monetization, and probably for the first time, we have a monetization panel on day one in the first half. Normally, we are always on the second day in the second half, where most of the people would have left by then. So, thanks for that. Just wanted to do a show of hands. How many of you don't use a mobile phone? Okay. How many of you are app developers? Okay, there are a few. How many of you have never used an app? Okay. How many of you have paid for apps? You guys have actually paid for games and apps. Ticket booking, Book My Show is not included in this.
In-app purchase.
Okay, great. Clash of Clans, great. Look for you. So there are approximately, if I look at the overall audience, there are about 4% of the people in this room who have paid for an app. India's average is 3.1%. As per Gartner report, 3.1% people have ever paid for an app. For content, for game, that's the number. So that's the overall audience who are ever going to pay for in-app activity or purchases. So if you look at the thousands of app developers who are making apps and games, for them to monetize, there are only these few people in this room. The rest of us, we don't pay like everyone else. So what are the ways for them to monetize? And that's probably what we want to discuss here. That what are the alternate routes of monetization for an app developer? Besides the transactional one, obviously, because they have a transactional model. So me and my fellow panelists would be discussing that. I'm Prashant. I'm from VMAX. We are a mediation platform that helps app developer maximize the yield. I would request my panelists to just introduce themselves. And if you can tell me one thing which you can help the app developers monetize. We can start from Prakash.
Hi, I'm Prakash. I'm from Corona Labs, which is owned by Perk. From our point of view, from Perk, we solely focus on the rewarded videos. So that's one of the primary things, how we monetize our apps, and our users earn points, which they can redeem for different things. So from where I sit, I would say one should try and use rewarded videos, which I think our friend from Pocket can explain further.
Sure.
So I'll pass on to him.
Sure. Thanks, Prashant. Once again, I'm here within 2 hours. Very rarely that happens, but I represent Pocket, which is in the business of rewarded video advertising. One of the things that I would like to suggest to all our friends in development industry is please understand where your audience is and accordingly use the right mediation or the network so that you are able to optimize the revenue. Just because it is an X network that you know, please don't use it. Because there are a lot of local networks in each part of the world who can give you a very high eCPM as compared to the normal ones that you would be using. So that would be my one suggestion. Yeah. Manish.
Thank you, Prashant. So my name is Manish Kri. I'm from Leadbolt. Leadbolt is again, you can say, one of the biggest publisher and ad network in across the globe. So of course, with respect to the alternative solutions for the monetizations, I have just, I was just thinking, sitting over there, like if I go back to the old time when the mobile arena just started, so there are lots of solutions actually, and it started with like email, like email and subscriptions and like white labeling and partnership with, like similar kind of an app. So one thing which actually I'm gonna put across, I'm gonna put some lights is the point in which like, you will have, because I understand I'm from the same background, so I know like there are more than 1 lakh apps, but to monetize those apps are really tough. So I'm gonna put a light on, to have 2 apps, one is a VIP app and one is, a normal app, so that, nowadays people are like too much into that. Okay, once they are used to, once they get addicted to that, like app, they have to use it. So that point I'm going to put across over that.
Yeah, perfect. Before we get started, happy Eid to everyone. Yeah, so this is something really nice. So here at the side, Ankit, I represent Vizuri, and as you know, Vizuri is a big data marketing company, pretty much known for securing users for life, right? Which help mobile app marketers or the developers or the app owners to secure users for life, right? And that again classifies into broad 3 levels, right? Increasing engagement, driving more actions, right? So actions can be conversion, it can be play a song, it can be playing a game or playing a video, right? And using your own channel, right? The push notification or email and the combination of display, right? And third is, of course, to reduce the churn. So churn can be a lapsed user or it can be an uninstalled user, right? Where you can come out with a way to predict that, hey, this is a user who might end up in uninstalling your app, right? And how can you make sure he doesn't uninstall your app, right? Again, yeah, all 3 aspects helps in the monetization of app, because more the number of monthly active users you have, more the numbers, you know, you can monetize on them, right? So yeah, that's
Hello everyone, I am Arpit Jain, co-founder of Greedy Game. We help game developers monetize their game by placing ads within the experience of the game, which is not intrusive to the end user. So helps in retention more than regular traditional advertising. So the one suggestion or like a piece of information that I can transfer would be, there's this notion with most of us that we think that first let's acquire users and then start thinking about monetizing them. I think with now that apps are becoming, you know, your core business going forward, the suggestion would be to start thinking about monetization right from when you're starting to make the app. And when we work with a lot of game developers, there are a few game developers who have separate teams to think about monetization. But what we encourage and what we find in, you know, bigger players would be the design teams actually taking a call about how to monetize their apps. Because you would find when the user is actually engaged in the game, that is where you can, ramp up that percentage from 3.1 to probably even 15, 20%. And we've seen, big game companies do that with their good UI UX.
Yeah, certainly everybody would want the in-app purchases to grow that number. But I think that's one place we would want to be. But at this point of time, one of the biggest challenges that we've been seeing with both gaming as well as other app guys, especially the content guys, is how do you navigate the monetization bit? Yes, there is advertising. Nobody likes advertising is the common perception. But as few of you guys have already done it, as in you have delivered better forms of advertising, be it native or be it rewarded, which kind of goes seamlessly into the game experience or the app experience. What do you think is that one key challenge that right now they are facing, which they are not able to solve, or which they kind of stops them for going full on into advertising? See, the fact is, advertising is the only route of monetization at this point of time. How do you solve it? How do you kind of give that confidence that, yes, go ahead and start with this? Arpit, like, you have some case studies there. You have done some great work with gaming guys. How do you navigate that?
So I think someone already mentioned it before. I think Prakash mentioned it, that you need to understand your audiences, right? In fact, Nimit also mentioned in the last panel. Once you know what your audiences are about, what do they want to do, and again, going back to the design philosophy, that is a call that your designers need to take more often than your monetization guys. So once you know what your audiences are in for when they are actually, on their app, and you understand their whole flow, you can definitely take much better decisions, which does not even intrude them, and in some cases, in fact, help them to, explore parts of the app which they are not able to explore without paying. So I think knowing your audience would be a point.
And Ankit, you guys have done great work in terms of identifying audiences and using that data. How can a developer, be it game or non-gaming, understand that bit as to what my audience is, and what is the best experience for them?
Absolutely, right? So this is again goes back to the concept, right? First, the user has to use an app, and it should have a good experience, right? And the next time he'll come back on your app, right? And again, it goes back on showing a relevant content to the user, right? In any of the channel, right? So let's take an example. Maybe I was using any of your game app or the music app, right? The last activity what I did was like 7 days back, and you know what was the last activity you did. So the next communication, either on push notification or any of your channel, has to be the last gesture what happened. And India is more a country about or dikhao, right? So it's more about you're showing the last song that you played of which genre, and you're showing a recommended options on the journal on your push notification. This is not a static push. You're actually showing a relevant content to the user on your push notification, where the user clicks on it and goes back to your deep link page, and where he can again go back from where he started, right? So yeah, so the whole idea is showing a relevant content, so the user comes back to your app, uses it again, and experience it in a much better fashion. So again, it becomes more like a daily habit, right? And again, as we know, like if you look at the India ecosystem, right, the average space on any mobile device is around 8 GB. And out of 8 GB, 50% goes on your OS. You're left with around 4 GB space. Out of 4 GB, again, 50% goes on your WhatsApp images, camera images, and all the stuff, right? So you're left with around 1 GB, 2 GB space, and a lot of default applications like Facebook, Google Maps, YouTube, and all the stuff. It's very important to make sure that your app becomes a daily habit. If it doesn't happen, the user will never ever keep your app for a longer period of time, right? So that's showing a relevant content and bringing them back on app is the key metrics over here.
Okay, so if I can just add on to what Arpit was saying, because one of the things that we faced 2 years back when we were starting off, and everybody was asking us, why are you guys not doing performance? And we strongly believe with our market like India and Southeast Asia, performance, yes, it's a fantastic market, but I think you also need to understand that brands have a huge spend on mobile, right? And at this point of time, I'm very happy to also communicate that in the last 18 months, we've done almost 100 campaigns a month, right? And the eCPM that I offer right now is so higher as compared to the CPI. So the point that I'm trying to drive here is Indians, obviously, I have a different way of installing every app, right? And it's not always that you get an install. And if that install is not happening, please understand your eCPMs are dropping, right? But whereas when you look at brands as an advertiser, it doesn't matter. Because for them, it's not about performance. It's all about what kind of eye views they are getting, what is the SOV they are getting. So you also need to understand that it's not only about performance advertisement, it's also about brand advertisements.
So while the eCPM point you brought up, Nimit, is great, and I've seen a lot of apps are getting good eCPMs, be it from videos, be it from Facebook, but the challenge still is that there are a lot of apps which are still not able to create that kind of ad revenues. It could be a content-led ad, it could be probably a listing app or marketplace, and tons of games. I mean, only less than 10% of gaming guys actually make good money.
Yes.
How do you solve that problem? Where are they going wrong? Is it in kind of format, or is it in terms of the user experience? Because great, if there's these, and I've seen a lot of these apps are good content apps. It could be a news app, it could be a local search app. How do you create that bit where we probably today can address that solution to help them also create that monetization?
Sure. So if I can touch on that, I think at this point of time, people have really not understood the power of mediation, right? The 10% people who are actually making money are the people who are using mediation effectively, or they have built up their own waterfall by which they are monitoring on a daily basis to understand where exactly they should be moving their traffic, right? Like for example, if an X network is giving you a 10% fill and is offering you a 20 cent, I would say, why are you even giving that 10% to that particular network? Let it be Pocket for that matter. Let me be on records on that. But what I mean to say here is that you need to be very clear to understand mediation is the only thing that can actually optimize revenue for you. That's what we've learned. Like all the people that make money in India, especially in the gaming space, walk up to them, ask them, they all use mediation. No one says I use only one network. And this is the only placement that I'm offering. So mediation, or if you can build your own waterfall as to why would you build, but if you want to build it, you have to have that.
Ankit, I think you wanted to add something there.
So again, on that front, right? Again, it all depends on, if you look at the general trend on the display side, right? The way the eCPMs are high on that front, right? So it's always good for any advertiser or marketer or both on demand and supply side to look at the combination of the channels, right? Where the channel can talk to each other, right? And that is the only way of getting the overall, the cost down, right? The combination of free before paid, free of your channels and of course, the played inventories, right? So yeah, to add on that.
So while mediation great, it helps me also plug in my brand here. We are doing good job. But apart from that, and on the data side, Arpit, you and Manish, you guys are individually been working with different set of publishers. What is that piece that you think is right now as an independent network or independent demand source, where you see are they going wrong, or where we can probably, is it ad format? Because you both are dealing in different ad formats. While we are looking at using multiple demand channels, be it using more than one network, but is it an ad format that is solving the problem?
Yeah, I think when we talk about brand advertising, as Nimit mentioned, that we are going to see more and more brand dollars coming into the mobile. So ad formats, when you look at it from a standardized point of view, they were solving a very good problem of performance advertising. Getting traffic, getting the right kind of data to analyze who are the right kind of audiences. Now, when you talk about brand advertising, suddenly you have to take every app as a separate entity and see how this particular app is actually adding value to the brand. Right? For example, if you look at Shazam, right? How they monetize is you can actually search a song on Shazam, and then they would lead you to Spotify or iTunes or YouTube to monetize on the affiliate traffic.
Yeah.
And that kind of strategy might not work for any other app, for that matter. Right. So you need to understand what is the right ad formats for a specific brand, for a specific app, considering the fact that you need to sell it to a brands who are also looking for that overall experience of how the person is going to your app, interacting with that app, and then actually leading to their own app or their own website. So I think that is very, very essential. And with all the game, like the game developers that you mentioned, 10% of the game developers actually earn the money. They understand a lot better how their user flow is and which are the right brands actually who would be able to give them much higher value in terms of eCPMs when they're talking about their own apps.
Yeah, but if in this case, if I can add, if you could ask also the game developers to share data about what kind of users they have, because one of our experience has been that developers don't like to share information. And if you don't share information, how are we going to do targeting?
Great. So I just got the message that we just have 5 minutes. Everybody else.
We just started.
Yeah. Everybody else has eaten into our time. And what we would actually want to do, rather than give the gyan we have, is probably answer some of the questions you have here. I think that would probably help us bring across some more information for you. If anybody has a question. So that's the whole thing. Nobody has questions on monetization. Oh.
Yes, please.
This may not be question on monetization.
We can hear you.
This may not be question on monetization, but let's say I want to advertise my ads, get users for my app. So all these ad mediation services, what kind of targeting, user targeting they provide?
So if I'm hearing out, you want to advertise, and you want to advertise your app, right? And you're looking at targeting. I think the first question, and probably some of my panelists can also answer that, is you have to know who is your audience. If you're making a game, then you know who are going to play your game and where you can find those people. If it is an app which does an activity or a utility app, who are the people who would probably, so first if you know your audience really well, then you probably may find them in the right place.
No, I know my audience, assume they are 25 something Indian who owns a car or let's say ride a bike. So what kind of targeting options or these ad mediation services provide?
See, just to answer even his questions, Prashant, I think it is really important for anyone, let's say it is an app company or game company. I understand because 3 to 5% of the people, those who are normally give feedbacks to any app, it is really very important to understand what a person is writing, because I am the guy, I go with the reviews. So, and I believe in 90% of the Indians and anyone, they go by the reviews. So it is really important to understand what kind of feedbacks you are getting on your beta version in the moment you launch it. So it is really important to address those things in a good way.
I think you were also looking at targeting, right? So I think the targeting that all mediation as well as networks can at this point of time provide you is right from a device ID targeting to a geo-based to a audience-based, age-based, demographic. All of those targeting parameters are available at this point of time. Does that answer your? Yeah.
2 parts to the question. The first one is if you have to rank Because most of these experiences are interruptive for the consumers. So which are the ad formats which are least interruptive for the consumers so that they can enjoy the app experience? One. Secondly, are there any ad blocking technologies happening in the app space where a consumer can download an app and then he or she doesn't see any app in any of the, any ads in any of the apps?
I think the second one is more important. I don't think, and I better there not be any technologies of in-app ad blocking. There are few.
We do face problems with our users. They block the ads and they earn points. So we do block them because we don't want them to do that. So there are a lot of apps which do ad blocking on your devices as well. So you can't run away with that anyways. And for advertisers, these guys, it's bad. For us, it's bad.
Arpit probably has some more.
I think both your questions can be, given by a single answer, which is if your ad experience is not blocking users' app experience, then you should not worry about ad blockers, as well as you should be able to retain users on your app even while monetizing through advertising. So native advertising is obviously one of the things which I think all of us are going towards. And native advertising is also very secure from ad blockers, if I can put it in.
Yeah.
Also, if I can just say, please, if possible, don't use banners. As a user, okay, when I play a game and when I see a banner on the gameplay screen, it really pisses me off. Okay, I don't know how many of you guys have that experience, but imagine if you're playing Subway Surfer and there's a banner flashing down, okay, it's gonna irritate, right? So for me, I always request my developers that if not, then please avoid banners from the ad unit's point of view.
Fine, so that's a fair thing, but there are so many apps and everybody is following a different rule. So you are saying there is an app available which can block the ads on various apps, yeah?
You can do that, yes.
You should tell him which one.
You should not, ideally.
You're not.
Any other questions?
I'm building an app and I don't want to put any ad in that. And apart from that, I don't want to go for a paid app. And apart from that, I don't want to go even for in-app purchases. Then what is the last option for monetizing the app?
If you don't want a user to pay for the app, if you don't want him to buy anything inside the app, and if you don't want to put advertising,
Yes.
I think it's a great way to make a public service app, but there has to be somewhere you would make money, right? You don't want the user to pay, you don't want a brand to pay, and you don't want anybody else to pay. I mean,
That's more like a WhatsApp app. You have to make it like a WhatsApp level.
No, but sorry, but let me jump in, right? Yes, that's a good thing that you would end up doing, but my request would be is to find a sponsor who can actually give it that money to you, because at the end of the day, you have to run that app, right? It's going to cost you money. You have to pay your bills.
Yeah.
So at least that's one option where you can say XYZ presents whatever your app is.
Yeah, actually it is a driver's safety app and there is no point in putting the ad in that because while driving he will not see on the phone, right?
that's a great
If
idea.
it is a
But
paid, then definitely then downloads will be very less.
see, there are going to be ways and means you can still introduce advertising and monetization into that. If it's a driver safety app, you already know where the user is going in, what places he's driving to. There can be those kind of, those contextual advertising that can be built into it. You can send notification to the guy saying that, hey, you last traveled from this location to this location. Here's something which is happening here. Or you also know that what this user is if he's driving all day, let's say, for example, he's an Uber driver or somebody driving a cab, there's still ways and means where he will interact with the app not beyond the time of driving. So you need to probably just design the UI and design the experience in a way where the user is actually engaging more with the app.
Okay, thanks.
So thank you. All of us are here throughout the day. If you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer those. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.